If you ran a 40 right now, could you run under 5?
Are you crazy?
I think you might run like a 4.98.
You ever seen me push a ball up a basketball court? I'm
It's
moving.
different though. That's a different.
No, it's not. Running is running.
Welcome back to another episode of Why is Draymond Green, talking about football with me, Jordan Schultz, presented by Fanatic Sportsbook. I'm NFL insider Jordan Schultz. I'm joined as always by NBA champ and NFL superfan Draymond Green. We've got a very exciting show with Pro Bowl Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts joining us later on. But first, Draymond, we need to talk about Mike Tomlin and the future of the Steelers. What was your reaction to seeing Coach T was no longer in the black and yellow?
Before I get into that, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'll let you live today. Since it's your birthday, I'll be nice and let you live today.
I need a nice Draymond today. I do.
I'm gonna let you live today. It's your birthday, but don't get used to it and don't expect it tomorrow.
I won't, but I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yes, sir. Oh man, my reaction, kind of expected, and I think it comes at a good time. I think Mike T, what he's meant to the organization has been huge and incredible. The resume he's built, second to none. But I think it's time. Sometimes the same voice can get dormant. Sometimes the same philosophies need to be changed up. When you've had the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers, people are trying to mock your philosophies, and people, are building to beat that philosophy, And I think for Coach T, this is a good time for him to reset. I don't think he's done as a coach, which is why he didn't resign, right? Like, I think, he's tied in with the Steelers organization. So if someone wants him, they're going to have to give up a pick. I think that's why they went about it
Trade
that way,
him.
because he wants to help the organization, right? Like, and so, but I think it comes at a good time, and I think this is a good time for Coach T to reset. When you've been doing something for 19 years, it's hard to take a step back and look at that thing holistically and say, I need to do X, Y, and Z. But when you step out of something and you step away, you can better see the flaws. You can see your successes. You can see where you need to change. You can see other people through a different lens and see what they're doing and how you need to maybe alter some of your philosophies. Like you're inside the 15, 4th and 4, go for it. Just different philosophies because the game is changing. So I'm definitely not one of those fans that was like, yo, man, we need to let go of Mike Tomlin. No, I don't agree with that. I think when you got that type of success, you let that success go as long as that success want to go. But I do think now that Coach T has stepped down, I think it's great for him. I think he get to enjoy family. If he wants to go on TV and talk, he'd be absolutely incredible at that. And I think he's still going to be the great coach that he has been for the Pittsburgh Steelers for someone else sooner than later in the NFL. But just want to say congratulations and job well done. People try to make it out to be a failure, a complete and utter success. And to Coach T, I tip my cap, man. Job well done, and thank you.
Classy, very classy. What about, and I hesitate to ask this, what about Josh Allen? We've argued a fair amount about Josh Allen, how I think he is the guy, you don't think he's the guy. What did you learn from the divisional game against Denver and the fact that they were unable to get over the hump again?
You lose the Bo Nix, Josh Allen has had some great years, some great statistical years, but every time it's come down to the playoffs, he hasn't been able to do it. He hasn't been able to deliver in the moment. That means something. Like, you don't always get these opportunities. I saw something where Terry Pagula, he laid out some numbers. And it was like 2-3, 2-2, 6-2, something. He said, you know what that means? Those are our playoff seasons. How long are you getting a number 2 seed, number 3 seed? Like, those opportunities don't just keep coming around and coming around. So you don't take advantage of them. You miss your window. And what I can tell you is what I've seen over my career is when it's time to kick the window in, you got to kick the window in. If you don't kick the window in when it's time, you never kick it in. And it's shut and it's slammed shut. And if you kick the window in, you extend that window to do more and more. But if you don't get through it when you're supposed to, it's slammed shut. And I think their window is slammed shut. McDermott's out, but, Josh Allen had 2 interceptions. You know, sometimes what's been a knock on him his entire career is he can get loose with the ball. And those same plays that make you laugh, that make you say, he's incredible, you make one of them and it don't work out and look crazy. But you're playing against a second-year quarterback in Bo Nix. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, and you don't get it done. Like that's just not, that doesn't sit well with me. You get paid the big bucks, MVP award, everything goes your way when you talk about the teams that are in the playoffs, quarterbacks, and everything goes your way, and still can't get it done. I'm not surprised, but it is a bit baffling, and I don't know what to say. Like he cannot come through on the biggest stage, and this year, like I've watched it, I'm like, man, I want him to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just ain't for everybody. Like everyone's just not cut out for it. You can blame the defense and say, oh man, they scored 30 points. I don't care. It's Josh Allen's job to score 34 points if the other team got 33. And he just not delivering on that. And so I don't know how much longer you can tell me he's the guy and he keep not delivering when it matters most.
Is there an NBA comparison to Josh Allen? Late 20s, great player who didn't maybe get there until he got into his 30s. I think Mike was in his late 20s when he won his first one, but who comes to mind as someone that maybe could be a comparison?
That didn't get there, didn't eventually end up getting there?
Either way, maybe that didn't get there, or maybe someone that did get there that you feel like, okay, it took him a long time to figure it out, but his greatness eventually prevailed. Because that's how I feel like it'll be with Josh.
You look at like a Steve Nash, for instance, won 2 MVPs back to back.
Yeah.
And, it never quite worked out. Then it's an injury here, injury there, and it changes everything. Then you pull one piece, whether that's Amari or, Sean Marion being traded or like, it's different things that happen and then it just doesn't look the same, right? And you then ultimately you never get over the hump. I think the other version of that is Dirk Nowitzki, a guy who did it statistically for a very long time and then eventually took advantage of his opportunity and was able to get over the hump, right? Like, and so it's possible. It can go either way. Still can go either way, but I just think, man, number one, your best chance to win as a quarterback is when you're on a rookie deal because you're not making the lion's share of the cap and you're able to have a better team around you. And usually when you aren't able to close the deal on that rookie deal and then we got to pay you a boatload of money, it usually don't happen once we pay you a boatload of money and you couldn't get through the window when you were on that rookie deal. So it's going to continue to get harder and harder for Josh Allen. And now you got to find a coach. Hopefully you find the right coach. Hopefully the coach will stay the same, right? Like there's a lot of hopes and hopefuls and what ifs because you just didn't take advantage of the opportunity when the opportunity presented itself.
Speaking of the Bills, it really struck me during the Wednesday press conference where it seemed as if the owner, Terry Pagula, and I shouldn't even say seemed, the owner, Terry Pagula, was not supportive at all of his second-year wide receiver and Keon Coleman. And Draymond, I don't know how much of the press conference you saw, but I found it very strange that the owner would come out and say that about such a young player.
Well, that's just save my ass behavior, right? Like that's save our ass because number one, the kids just finished his second year. They're 1,000% throwing the towel in on him. They'll probably move on from him if they can or cut him because it won't cost them too much money. But that was made clear. You start to point the finger, oh man, this guy drafted this guy. They wanted him. We didn't want that. It shows dysfunction. And so what that would say to me is probably more dysfunction in this organization than anyone realized. And now it's all coming out, which would also be one of the reasons why they can't get over the hump. Because they have their own dysfunction amongst each other. Why Terry would feel the need to come out and number one, throw this kid under the bus. Yes, Keon Coleman has not turned out to be who everyone thought he would be. Yes, Keon Coleman has not done the best job of holding up his end of the bargain. We all get that. But to throw him under the bus like that, to go at the kid because he's underachieved a bit and to start pointing fingers like, yo, the coaching staff wanted him, not the front office. Number one, you're doing that because you have to answer the question of why you're keeping the GM and not the coach. You know, why you're keeping Bean and you're not keeping McDermott. Why not both of them? But you're trying to cover your own ass to support yourself in that decision, right? And then you come out and say, well, Sean McDermott questioned the roster. So this is all just, right? You talk about that. You talk about him coming out and talk about Keon Coleman. This is all them just trying to point at everything at Sean McDermott. And by the way, I thought Sean McDermott should have been fired a year or two ago when they couldn't get over the hump. But you kept sticking with him. So don't throw him under the bus now. If you saw something there that y'all kept sticking with him when the team kept coming up short. And now to go at Keon Coleman like that, like, you know, I think a lot of players also on that team is not going to take well to that. Throwing their young guy under the bus, veterans on that team going to be pissed off. I don't think they're going to take well to that. And it's finger pointing at the highest level. And guess what? That doesn't lead to winning. That leads to front running. And what they're showing is they're a front running organization. And I don't see front runners win championships in these leagues.
We'll keep an eye on those storylines as we head into the championship round. But next up, we are fired up to bring on Falcons Pro Bowl tight end Kyle Pitts. But first, a word from our friends at Fanatics. The playoffs are here, and it's time to make the switch to Fanatics Sportsbook. With Fanatics Sportsbook, you can earn up to 10% fan cash on every bet, win or lose. That means even when a pick doesn't hit, you're still stacking rewards you can use on more bets, tickets, jerseys, memorabilia, and exclusive Fanatics experiences. And don't forget about Fanatics Sportsbook's fair play policy, protecting bettors from first half injuries. Some books protect your bet for just the first quarter, some discontinue your protection for the playoffs, but not at Fanatics Sportsbook, where they flip losing bets into winning bets all playoffs long.
Make the switch to Fanatics Sportsbook today. Winning is different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, 800-327-5050. New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app. Thrilled to welcome into the show Kyle Pitts, coming off a fantastic Pro Bowl year. Falcons tight end and avid golfer, much better than DG. Kyle, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you so much for joining.
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. What you will find on this show is Jordan takes unnecessary shots. Because he was a bad athlete, he likes to take shots at the athletes, but he's not going to take a shot at the guests. So then I just catch, the brunt of it. But it's all good. No worries. Jordan was a very bad basketball player, and we accept that.
Kyle, I know you can hoop, Kyle, right?
I used to. I feel like I gave it up around 8th grade. That was around the time where I feel like everybody started to grow. It was either like you grew wide and was strong with football, or you grew to be like 6'8". And when I transferred and wanted to keep my dreams alive, our center was like 7 foot. We had like a 6'8", 6'7" guys out there. So I then gave it up quick and realized that wasn't the sport for me.
So you were a big man.
I used to run like 3 to 4, the 3 or the 4, depending on the day.
You was just a little before your time, because your height now as a 3'4" works.
Really? I was thinking 6'5", you a guard.
Nah, old NBA. Nowadays,
Oh, yeah.
we joke with GP that he a 5-man. GP 6'3", 6'4", maybe, but the GP live in the dunker.
That's short?
Like, he live in the dunker, and he finishing the dunker as good as anybody I've seen. Like, so the NBA changed a bit, man. You be all right now. When I first came into the league, though, bro, 4-man was like 7 feet. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they were like 7 feet, bro. You had like a 6'10" 4-man, 7'1" for center. Like that was the NBA when I first came into the league. Like it got smaller due to our success. So, you might have got out of it too early, bro. But it worked out for you.
No. It was perfect timing. It was perfect timing.
Kyle, I want to start with it. I've been thinking about this a lot over the last week or so. I know your contract's expiring, but if you were back in Atlanta, the head coach would be Kevin Stefanski, and he's had a ton of success with tight ends, including David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. What are your thoughts on that, and just the potential to play for someone like that loves to maximize the tight end?
I mean, that'd be dope in general as a room and as just like a morale as an offensive piece of the tight end being one of the focal points in it. Not saying there wasn't before, but it being like a higher, more enhanced role. So that would be the cool part, and to see what he's done in the past is great. And talking to David, haven't met or talked to Harold yet, but talk to David about me is nothing but great things to say, and I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fire. I think like when you're sitting back and you're looking at the negotiation, you're going through negotiations with your agent and how everything looks. Do you think it's a benefit for you in the negotiation with having a coach come over like this who's, we know you're a dominant tight end, especially coming off the year you just had, that is going to be looking at that position like, yo, we need this guy, or they got to go out and get another tight end, which is a very important piece of his offense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't ever really been in like this part of my life in terms of like the real next step in terms of like your career. It's just been college to the league, and now it's your next contract. Now it's like you gonna keep going. It's not like college where you stop. This is where like this is your next, extension of life in so many words. And I think it'll be great, but we gotta let the chips fall where they fall.
Kyle, when you mentioned like life, Draymond and I talk about this a lot, and just the concept that, or the average fan only sees you guys playing for basically 3 hours on a Sunday. That's it for the entire week. So it'd be like, I always say, imagine if you saw someone for 3 hours over the course of the week and that's all you saw. But there's so much more that goes into it on and off the field. So my question is, how have you learned to balance, I want to be great, the best football player I can be, but also family and everything else that comes off the field?
I mean, it's obviously in Draymond can attest to the main thing is to what we do every day, and that's play sports. But obviously, what keeps us grounded and is like that burning fire in you to keep grinding every day is your family, what you have at home. And obviously, you kind of got to just take it with a grain of salt as the people who are outside the building and don't really know what the work you put into it. And, Monday to Sunday, and just getting your body ready, your
Mhm.
mind ready, and still having to deal with off the field things, and being a regular human, because you are there at the end of the day. You just happen to play football and go out there and do it at a high level.
This year, you go into the season knowing that you're going in to what is the last year on the deal, and like you said, the kind of the next step of your life. You don't know, like you just don't know what it looks like. What was the pressure that you felt going into this season? And then also, I asked from an injury standpoint, where it's so prevalent, if guys getting hurt in y'all league, was there something else that you needed to do, like an insurance policy or different things? Did you have to do any of those different things and going into the season knowing that I'm up after this year, but yeah, I got to go out here and play. I can't hold out. I need to go out here and prove myself. What was what were those steps for you?
Well, to answer your first question is kind of like it's no added pressure, because at the end of the day, it's like this is a performance based league, and you have
Yeah.
to perform. So it's like you have to find it in you some sort of way to perform when your number's called, and go about your business and be the most. If you weren't a professional before, you enhance it now. For you were before, you enhance it. If you weren't, you find a way to be it for this year. And you kind of learn quick talking to older guys. And I would say for the second, no, I didn't get a insurance policy on my body. That was kind of like something I kind of got early on as just like insurance over the body. But no, not thinking about that, because that's how you get hurt. I feel like if you're thinking about that and you're not really focused and locked in on each play, because you're thinking like, if I don't catch this, something big in the end will happen. You gotta, just live in the moment. I feel like, because that's the only way to, you know, go about life and his career, because it's a bunch of ups and downs in this.
Kyle, you played your rookie season with Matt Ryan when you had 1,000 yards. So is it weird, or crazy a little bit now to think that he's the team president just a few years later?
It's crazy.
That 100% is crazy, and just seeing that and learning from him from when I was my first couple of days in the building, it's just
Yeah.
crazy to see him now. He's on that side of it, you know. He was on the
Mhm.
player, and now he's, you know, in the front office. So that's pretty cool to see.
That's insane, man. I got like I played with Zaza Pachulia. He works like in our front office, but not like every day with the players or not in the general manager role. You know, I've had a couple guys like Leandro Barbosa that I actually played with that was on our coaching staff, but to be the president of a team, it's crazy. Like,
Crazy work.
especially as a rookie. That mean like in a sense he was kind of a veteran leadership for you, you know,
100%.
and throwing you the ball, one of your best seasons that like so that connection got to hit differently, no?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like Matt's somebody, like I said, welcoming into the NFL. So to like remember that and him kind of set the blueprint is great, and it always is something of like, this is what worked then. And you know, if you kind of get off track, you got to find your way back on it and do what you were doing then.
What was Matt Ryan like as a teammate, and what was your reaction, Kyle, to learning that he was going to be in a presidential role with the organization?
Well, when I was a rookie, I feel like my head was just turning just every day,
Yeah,
like
so
trying to,
fast.
you know, keep my head above water. But just learn from him, seeing how he goes about his business, and his preparation was great. You know, him and Lee Smith were the two guys I kind of leaned on a
Mhm.
lot my rookie year from a veteran standpoint to see how they go about their business, and they taught me a lot. And then just from the president standpoint, we haven't talked, you know, since he got the job or anything like that. So I haven't really talked to him and seen him in that new light, but pretty sure he's probably still the same and is a great leader, and that's probably, you know, that's why Mr. Blank hired him.
Tight ends today, in today's day and age, that are more used than they've ever been in the history. Like, you know, you get tight ends split out. You know, you start talking Travis Kelce, Gronk. Like these guys, if you don't know football, you can possibly mistake them for wide receivers. In yourself, you know, you look around, Brock Bowers. You can mistake these guys for wide receivers. The size, the skill, the speed. You know, when you look at the tight end position today, is there any tight ends that you tried to mold your game after?
I would say like coming up, it was definitely Travis and George. Those are like the two guys I feel like at the pinnacle of this position now that have set the new standard in terms of being able to pass, catch, and be, you know, better put your nose in it in the run game. So just watching them and being just like watching film and seeing them in game, like how are these vets savvy? Because that's the name of the game. If you want to be able to play for a long time, you gotta be smart. And they're really smart and know a lot about the game. So just seeing it, how they think and how you can kind of add that to your toolbox, that helps a lot because your pride can't be too much in a way that you can't learn from somebody else.
Along that same line, love a good list. Who would you say is your top 5 tight ends of all time?
Like I always say, lists are subjective. That's how you get in
Yes, they
trouble.
are. Yes, they are.
I'll say in no order, I gotta go Shea Sharp,
Okay.
Mike Ditka, Travis. Gotta go Tony G for sure. Gotta go with Tony G.
So you got Dicker, Shea Sharp, Tony G, Travis, and who's the fifth one?
Probably Ozzy Osbourne. One of the trailblazers in it.
He taking it back.
Yeah, I'm taking it back.
Jordan, this man got
I
history.
love that. Yeah.
I wore his jersey this year at National Tight Ends Day. I wore the Mike Ditka jersey.
Wow.
That's fire.
That is so fire.
Jordan, did you even know Mike Dicker was a tight end?
Yes, DG. Of
Oh,
course
I'm
I
shocked.
did.
Draymond, why did you give a good tight end dreams?
Man,
Yeah.
listen.
Oh, you know what? No, I'll answer it for him because he didn't want to give punts in the mouth.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, listen, number one, you getting punched with a helmet on. A little different. But also, I think honestly, Kyle, I just wasn't that good, bro. I was decent. You know what I'm saying?
Slow.
I was
Slow.
decent. You know what I'm saying? I was a decent football player. I got on the football team. When I contribute. I played tight end and DN like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, back then, we didn't really send the tight end out to pass catch. So I was a glorified tackle in high school, like, cause
Right.
they just ain't show no love to the tight end. So I was just an extra. I was just an extra offensive tackle. So
Right.
that turned me off. You know, like as a basketball player, you want to get into action. So that
100%.
turned me off a bit to it. But then also, you know, it got to the point where after my freshman year of high school, like I played in the spring game in college, but I went out there for one day just to say I did it, you know, type thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
Oh, so
I
that
was
video
really
is
going
real.
out for it. Yeah, it's a real
Yes,
video for sure.
that's
I
real.
played 2
That's real.
plays. It was crazy. It was crazy. But so it just got to the point after my freshman year, I had a growth spurt. I went from like 6 feet, 6'1", to the height that I am now from the beginning of freshman year. By my sophomore summer, I was the height I am today. And so when I hit that growth spurt, going into basketball season for tryouts, I could barely run up and down the court. And I thought it was because I was getting chopped in football.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, man, I don't know, bro, because I'm way better at basketball.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm getting chopped. My knees is killing me, bro. So in tryouts, I could barely get up and down the court. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play football no more. In turn, what I ended up figuring out years later was that I hit the growth spurt. And I was like, oh, like, of course, dummy. Like, you grew 6 inches in 5, 6 months. Of course your
Right.
knees was hurting and you couldn't run. But
Right.
I thought it was because I was getting chopped. By the time I figured it out, though, it was like, all right, am I going back to football now? I'm way better at basketball. I wasn't anything special. Like, as a DN, they taught me, yo, nothing get to the outside. I'm
Right.
disciplined, so there was nothing getting to the outside. I was gonna force everything back inside. But
Right.
like, as a tight end, like I was gonna do my job, but I wasn't special, bro. I was like average at best. And
Yeah.
so I just knew like I wasn't great. I was way better at basketball, so I just had to go with it.
Okay. Respectable.
Yeah, I
I
was.
feel the same
Uh,
way. Same way. You
yeah,
six
I ain't gonna
What
lie
seven.
about
to you, bro.
football?
You see Darnell. You could be 6'7" and still get busy.
No, for sure. You most definitely can. I wasn't special at all, bro. I was average as like just being I love football. Like I still to this day, I love football.
He
Like
loves the Steelers.
I
He
love
loves
to
the
watch
Steelers.
football more than I like to watch basketball. I
Right.
love football, but I wasn't special, bro. Like I would have had to be like the guy who, um, which I got a lot of respect for these guys, but I would have had to be the guy like, yo, you love football so much, but you ain't that good. You gotta like go into the video room and like work your way up to coaching staff. I wasn't very good. I was like average, bro, at best.
Damn. They sent
Yeah,
you
I wasn't.
inside.
I wasn't great, bro. So they stuck.
Okay.
We had Cam Jordan on. We had Cam Jordan on the show last week, and he killed offensive linemen like I've never seen before.
I
And
seen it.
one
I
thing he
seen it.
said
Dude,
that hit
that was
home.
crazy.
Right. No, one thing he said that hit home with me though is he was like, "Yeah, you know, you the unathletic guy. What position they stick you at? Offensive line?" And like, I wasn't quite big enough to be an offensive tackle, but like, I was a tight end, bro, and all I did was
Hey,
block, bro. So it hit home
damn.
with me when he said that.
I mean, he got a point, and he's a defensive guy, so they're a little unhinged. And plus, he on the back half of his career, so he didn't got a couple hits to the head. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, because
Right.
look at Trent. That's one of the most athletic people I ever seen in my life.
I agree.
I'm
I
like,
asked him about Trent, and he's like, "Yeah, athletic,
We
but
said Trent and Wirfs.
more athletic than who?"
yeah,
It was crazy, bro. I've never seen anyone talk about offensive linemen the way he did. And I
yeah,
know how important, like, you don't have a team if your line can't block.
right,
It'll never work. Man, that
right.
man talked about offensive linemen like they should be playing a different sport. It was unbelievable.
Kyle, you were like, when you saw that, a part of you agreed, but you're also like, Trent Williams is crazy athletic.
Yeah, and then look at our tackle, Jake Matthews. Like he's
Yeah.
so like I feel like the word that I would use to describe his game is methodical because he's like almost never on the ground. And it's like Jake has such good feet. He take care of his body. I mean, that's why he's been playing for. I think this is what his
Year
12th
11?
year.
Yeah.
Or 11 years. This is 11th year. So that's why he's been doing it for so long. And it take a long time to get to 11 years. and for him to have minimal injuries, I don't think any surgeries, like, that's a testament to him. And, like, it's some athletic people. Like, now, most of them are, fat and bad body, but the ones that are the good ones are the good ones.
Are good. Yeah, they are. I totally agree. I totally agree. Kyle, how did you get into golf? How did that passion spark?
Man, I got in during COVID, during the
Okay.
time when the world was shut down, and I was actually training
Right.
out in California, and I would train at like 6 o'clock. Let's say I train from 6 to 7, did field work an hour or two after that, because you train for the combine, so it's not that long. So let's say I had 2.5 hours of work, 6 to 8:30. Is my block of work. Now, every time we rolled back from the turf field, there was a driving range, and I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Okay, I think because I went to a golf camp when I was younger, and I don't even remember that. It was the YMCA, but then I quickly went to the basketball camp. We was riding by, and I was like, okay, well, we got the whole day to ourselves. We might as well go out there and swing a couple, burn some time. Start hitting a couple. I'm like, okay, this might not be it. And I tore my hands up. Did that for a little bit, and I was
Right.
like, okay, this is something I can get into. Then got traded, start, meeting the right people. When I got here to Atlanta, got some sticks and, been getting lessons and getting the handicap down for sure.
Dang.
That's all it take, bro. It take one shot a day to get you to come back the next day.
That's
Exactly.
all.
One shot. What are you playing at right now?
My handicap?
Yeah.
It depends on who I'm gambling. I could gamble anywhere
Yeah, exactly. Right.
from a 13 to an 11, maybe a 10.
Solid.
But I'm
Oh, you got
I haven't been
good
playing.
fast.
I haven't been. Yeah, I was gambling, losing money. It was the only way to learn. That's the only way of, like, betting $1 a hole, $5 a hole. That add up, and then it double if you add different nuances to the rules. You like, all right, and you like, all right, well, let me figure this out. So I started getting lessons, and that was the rest. I've been getting them ever since.
That's fire. DG, what's your course, DG, in Vegas? Which one?
I don't have a home course, but I play Shadow Creek in Vegas.
Have you played that,
But I
Kyle?
don't have a home course in Vegas.
I actually missed my chance. I was supposed to play with Dexter.
Oh.
But I'm definitely gonna try and spin that, and find our way to Shadow Creek, because I heard the whole ambiance, the pro shop, everything is click to the T. I need to get out there and lay that club down for sure.
It's fire, bro, and it don't feel like you in the middle of Las Vegas. Like, you're standing in the middle of this golf course in the middle of Las Vegas, and like everywhere you go on the course, but not like distastefully, they got these big ass fans. And these fans create this wind on this course, bro. And like it's not like hot as hell like you standing in the middle of Las Vegas. It's like beautiful with a bunch of trees, like beautiful. And it's a breeze on the course. It's incredible.
I heard they got Rams on that course though, right? Because I had some homies that went and played. Don't they have Rams on it, or what is it?
You
It's
said
some
they
type
have
of
what on it?
wildlife.
Wow, he's
Rams.
saying like
I ain't seen none out there. Yeah, I ain't seen none out there. I don't with living things, bro. Only people and dogs. Oh, so I don't I ain't see it out there. I ain't see none out there. But that course, bro, it's an incredible course. You gotta play it if you can. It's unbelievable.
I'll connect you guys after, and you guys can try to set that up. Because DG, what's your handicap? A 30?
I'm not there yet. Don't
Not
do
there
that.
yet.
to me.
Okay,
No,
fine.
Yeah,
I
mean,
won't do
you
that.
got, you got access to some of the best, and y'all got a lot
Yeah.
of free time. So I know you had the time.
Yeah, I'm putting the work in for sure. Like, bro, I went to golf with Steph one time so far.
Steph's good. Steph's good.
And the second time we were on the course at the same time, but I didn't want to interrupt his round. But I went to golf with him at Cal Club out in San Francisco. He's a member there. And the things that he was teaching me, like, number one, I appreciate his patience. You go out there with some people, they're going to laugh at you, especially when you're good as him. He like so serious about the sport. He ain't laughing at you. He helping you. The things he was calculating and processing, bro, he like, yeah, so you're hitting right there and the wind's going that way. So it's 142. Take 3 yards off of it, play it at 139. So I hit my shot, boom, got right to the green. By the way, my 56 degree, just so we clear, if I could play the whole golf course with my 56 degree wedge, I'd
That's
be
good.
Tiger Woods. I'm a beast with my 56 degree. I'm crazy with it. But
That's
so
good.
I hit, boom, right to the green. And then he was about to hit, and the wind started blowing. He's like, wait, you see that? I'm like, what? He's like, my shot's different than yours. Like, what are you talking about? He like, the wind just started blowing. And look at this. Your ball was actually right there. My ball is another couple inches away from that. But look at this slant. Where your ball set and where my ball lie is a complete. So that changes my. I'm telling my brother, the things that he was processing out there on the course, I was just like, yo, this is nuts. But we go to one hole and he like, you need to go over the tree. Well, for me, I'm gonna just go straight down and then go around. I'm not going over the tree because I ain't. Bro, go right over the tree. And I'm like, yo, so why? And he's like, no, you just take it over the tree. I'm like, yeah, but what if it gets stuck in the tree? Like, but I calculated that already. I'm like, bro, he incredible, man. I learned
Yeah,
a
it's a
lot
lot
from
that
him
goes
in
into
one
one
day.
swing. That's the craziest thing.
Facts. And like I didn't learn that till playing with him though, because I didn't even know like you should be processing all of these things. You know, like he incredible, bro. He could real deal possibly be a professional golfer. He can definitely be a golf pro, no question.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
could possibly make some tour. Like if he really devoted the time, he incredible, man. It's dope.
That's a good debate. Do you think non-golfers could convert to being a golfer and make the tour? If you had like 3 years.
I think Steph could. I think there are some guys out there. And by the way, I don't take the sport for granted. I know how hard it is, so I don't want to disrespect those guys. Just like I hate when people say, like, yo,
He
I
could
could
play in the
play in
league.
the NFL or I could play in
Yeah.
the NBA. Like, bro, no, you can't. Like, no, you can't. Like, that's not a realistic thing for you. Shut up. Right. So so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I don't want to disrespect those guys. But like, I golf with Steph, bro, at Cal Club. It's not like some crazy simple course. I golf with him. He didn't get a bogey till like the ninth. He didn't miss a single shot until like the 9th or 10th hole was the first shot where he was like, like finally missed on one shot. And it was like par, birdie, birdie, par, birdie. Like he incredible, bro.
Yeah. All of his
So I
shots in the
think he
fairway.
could, and I think there's some other guys, a few other
Yeah,
guys
fairway.
that possibly could, but not me. I stick.
Kyle, here's a question to the other side. Could the average fan catch a pass and live to tell another day in the NFL? Let's say go over the middle and get
Like could Jordan
cracked.
Schultz catch
Like-
a pass going over the middle in the NFL?
It just run it like if somebody coming in, like you got to make the decision of making somebody miss or you got to catch it.
No, I'm saying like I'm not making somebody miss. Like I'm gonna get cracked by a backer or a safety, 8-yard slant right in the middle of the field.
It's gonna hurt for sure. Now the difference is how long you'll be out. You know,
Right.
like if it's a
Yeah.
linebacker, you could be out for a substantial amount of time. Safety, you might get away with it, but I don't think so. If I'm being honest, that's just like the debate of can a regular patron rush for 5 yards in the NFL? Like not in the game, in practice maybe, not in the game.
It's too detailed. It's
Yeah.
too much. It's
Yeah.
too
They
much that
fast.
goes into it.
They
Too
fast
fast.
out there.
That you have to know, and it's fast as hell. Like people close. That was one of the first things I learned when I got to the NBA, is how fast people close distance. Like people close space fast, and I'm sure in the NFL it's the same thing. Like
100%.
the average person can't process how you could turn your head and see that guy that way. By the time you turn your head back, they smacking you. And you're like, yo, how did he get here this fast? Like people
Facts.
close space fast in these leagues.
100%.
What about going from the SEC to the NFL? Was it a massive difference in terms of the speed and everything else, or was it maybe not as much because the SEC is such a high level?
I mean, obviously, the highest of the level is their own level of speed, but I don't think there was a dramatic change in terms of coming from Florida, going against Alabama, LSU, those same guys I'm battling on Sundays. So it's like,
Right.
obviously you have some positions that elevate, because like you can have some slow D linemen in college. In the league, they boy runner. DN's a runner. It's like everybody in the NFL can run. Like
Right.
that's the most common thing that people may not understand. Everybody can run. May not be the most athletic, like Cam say, but everybody in the NFL can run, and they're just the highest of the high. And to see that is probably the most different thing of seeing D linemen chase down smaller positions or smaller backs, because it's like, well, damn, like I didn't think this was the next, like the next tier is D lineman being fast, rather than in college you kind of had some people where they would get fast, but and they weigh more than you. Is the craziest part.
That is crazy.
That's nuts.
I got one more for Kyle. It's not so much a football question as it is like a life question. How has becoming a father changed the way you go about your day as a football player and as a man?
I mean, I think it just, as a man, elevates you, and you kind of really don't understand that until, I would say, your partner is pregnant, and the more bigger they're getting, and the more you're getting closer to that child coming out. It's like, okay, it's coming, and when it happens, it's like, okay, now life is going, but now life has started. I feel like so from the first day of me being a father to now is just like learning, or not even so much learning. It just happening organically, with being like selfless.
You're
And
selfless. Yeah.
to be able to like understand that it's somebody watching me, whether I have a good, bad game, they think I'm the best, best thing coming, is like crazy. But it's also in the back of your mind, like, I can't let this boy or girl down. And me having a son as my first child was like, yeah, I got a son here. He got to know, I don't want him getting bullied at school. They saying your daddy poo-poo and none of that. Like, that's like a small thing that's in the back of my head. But it's like having that grind and that fire of like, I have a junior named right after me, same exact first, middle, and last name. Was like, that's something big. And it's like, you don't really understand like the significance of being a father until you have your first.
Awesome.
I can respect that. Changes everything.
100%.
It does.
Changes everything.
Kyle, you've been teammates with Bijan now for a few years. He's such an electric football player, such a special talent. What's like the craziest or maybe best thing you've seen him do on a football field?
I just seen him do some things on that field in practice, in the game. But my most craziest Bijan moment so far, because I feel like they just keep refreshing.
Yeah.
I think it was against Washington his rookie year, when I think it was Marcus threw the ball a little bit behind him and he caught it, but he was juking him in while the ball was just now on his hand. He juked him and scored. I said, yeah, he's different. Like, Bijan got some of the coldest feet I ever seen. And it's just so natural. Like, he's so nimble with his feet. And he like Le'Veon times 10, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a fact. Le'Veon was like that with his feet, but Bijan is like that with his feet, and he got the speed
and power.
Yeah,
he's so powerful.
It's
just like that combination is just lethal.
1000%. That's fire, man. Man, Kyle, can't thank you enough, bro, coming on the show.
You,
it's incredible.
I appreciate y'all for having me, for sure.
Sir, incredible to hear your side. Good luck on your contract. Looking forward to seeing you get what you deserve, which is well deserved. So get your bag, brother. Really appreciate you. We're going to have to get on them links one day. I ain't that good, but I can compete.
Thanks again to our guest, Kyle Pitts. Now, as always, it's time for Picks and Parlays presented by Fanatic Sportsbook. DG, we have a 3-leg parlay for Sunday's NFC Championship. Rams at Seahawks. Now, Kenneth Walker, this is where I'm going with this. Zach Charbonnet is out for the season. Kenneth Walker, 83.5 rushing yards. He's averaging 2 touchdowns versus the Rams this season. What do you think of Kenneth Walker, 80-plus rushing yards, combined with, let's go back to the well, JSN 90-plus receiving yards. What do you think of those two plays for Seattle?
Man, that means we're expecting them to blow the Rams out. If they're
But the Rams can score points now too.
If Kenneth Walker's rushing for 80-plus yards and Jackson Smith-Njigba is receiving 90-plus receiving, you're essentially saying they're going to destroy the Rams.
But this could be a shootout, though.
This can be a shootout for sure.
Although Seattle's defense been lights out.
Seattle's defense has been lights out, and I just don't think it's going to be that high scoring. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick
JSN.
I'm going to pick JSN, although it hurts me not to go with my Spartan dog. So I'm going to hold on that. Let's go number one, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 90-plus receiving yards. I also think the Rams need to get Devontae Adams going. And I would expect them, especially they're going to need to get the ball out. I expect Devontae Adams 5+ receptions. What do you think about that?
I like that a lot. I didn't think they involved him enough against Chicago, and it almost really cost them. He made one phenomenal catch on the sideline, but he was not a focal point of the offense. And it surprised me a lot. And so I would totally agree with that. By the way, JSN, he averages about 9 catches, 101 yards versus the Rams this season. So I think we both really like the wide receivers. Which quarterback do you feel more comfortable going off? Darnold against the Rams or Stafford coming off a couple subpar games by his standards against Seattle?
I'm a Stafford fan. I like Stafford, but I think, at 250+, I think I'll take Darnold at 225+. He's at home. Stafford, these last couple games have seemed like he's managing the game more in his later career than making the plays that we become accustomed to Matthews, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's just how it happens. So I think I'll go with Sam Darnold.
Over 250?
225+.
225. Okay, I like that a lot because he's averaging 275 against the Rams this year. Now, he did have that disastrous, I think it was a four interception performance in their first meeting, but he bounced back and played pretty well against them in the second meeting. So I like that as well. So to summarize, we got JSN, 90+ receiving yards, Devontae Adams, 5+ catches, and Sam Darnold, 225+ passing yards. Be sure to check out our parlay in the Fanatic Sportsbook app and ride along with us on Sunday. DG, let's get ourselves a winner.
We need it.
Now it's time for our head-to-head pick'em, where each week we pick the hottest games against the spread. It's coming down to the wire with only 3 games left to pick. And last week, you had a disastrous 0-3 showing. I was 1-2. You are now 36-42-1. I am 39-39-1.
If you lose all 3, we could tie.
Okay, we could tie. So you're gonna have to go against me in each of these games. I still have to figure out what I want. I think it might be some more. I think it might be some grapes. I might need some Pinot. Okay, so championships games. So we got New England at Denver. New England's a 4.5-point favorite on the road. I'm gonna take Denver 4.5.
Denver 4.5.
I know it's Jarrett Stidham. It's not Bo Nix, but I don't know if that drastically changes how they play this game. So give me the Broncos at home as a very live home dog, getting 4.5.
Wow, Broncos are 4.5. All right, I'm going to take New England 4.5. That's one way of catching up.
Okay, then we got the Rams at Seattle. Seattle's a 2.5-point favorite. For me, this is simple. Seattle was playing, I would say, the second half of the season, arguably the best football of anyone, although New England has been in that conversation, Denver as well. The Rams haven't been, the last 2 weeks, they haven't played as well against Chicago and Carolina, which is not a great sign. That is a fantastic team, but I am going to take Seattle laying 2.5 in front of the 12th man.
I love that. Great homer pick for you. The Rams haven't played great in the last 2 weeks, and they've played and they figured out a way to win. A good game is on the horizon, and a stinker is on the horizon for Seattle. I'll take the Rams getting 2.5 in Seattle, and then I'll beat you in the Super Bowl.
And then we'll be tied up. And if we're tied up, we might have to have some kind of 3-point competition.
Oh, easy money. Easy money.
Run a 40.
No problem.
What do you
Easy
think you run a
money.
40 in?
Anything
run
athletically.
If you ran a 40 right now, could you run under 5?
Are you crazy?
I think you might run like a 4.98.
You ever seen me push a ball up a basketball court? I'm moving.
It's different though. That's a different.
No, it's not. Running is running.
All right. So what are you running? A 4.7?
That's a stretch these days, but 4.82,
I'll run a 5.6.
4.84, something like that.
4.84. Okay.
5.6
We'll track.
at best. Don't.
Yeah, I know.
You're overdoing it.
No, I am super slow. It's always
know.
been a bugaboo.
We see you.
Bugaboo for a long time. We'll track these picks every week, powered by Fanatics Sportsbook. You can follow along and put your own futures in the Fanatics app. That's a wrap on this week's episode. Big thanks to our super special guest, Kyle Pitts. He was terrific. Draymond, any parting thoughts as we go into championship weekend?
My parting thoughts are, what do you make of Josh Allen failing again? Because you've told me over and over.
I knew you were going to ask that. Here's all due respect to Sean McDermott. I also felt like they probably waited an extra year too long to let him go. I think he's a good coach, but like you said, sometimes the message gets stale. I think that's what probably happened with Buffalo. Josh Allen is one of the great players in sports. He did not play a typical Josh Allen game. He even said it. We had 5 turnovers. I think the fumble at the end of the first half that led to a Denver field goal probably hurt them the most.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it just it didn't quite sit right with me as a huge fan of Josh Allen, because I know, and I think you know the type of competitor he is, and you know he's gonna have, like, you're probably thinking about those 1 or 2 plays and those mistakes now the next 6 months or whatever it is, right? That doesn't leave you, and he puts that on himself, and so that I really feel for him as a person.
I respect that. That's very nice of you.
But isn't that true? He's going to be marinating in that for a long time.
Well, yeah. And by the way, this may have been his best chance. He may be marinating in that for the rest of his career, because that's how fragile it is. It's very, very fragile. So we'll see. But
you never know. You never know when you'll be back or if you'll be back. It's true. I mean, Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl as rookie or never went back.
Exactly.
Dan Marino, one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks of all time. So
it's no guarantee. So cannot get it done without those other guys there, and you still going to tell me he's the guy? I struggle. Those are my parting thoughts. Subscribe right now on YouTube. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and download Fanatics Sportsbook so you can make your picks along with us.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.